Hello friends, it's Lex at LexReads and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to be taking you through the books that I read this month, in the month of March. So, without further ado, let's just do it. Let's just get on into it. The first book that I finished this month was the second book in the All for the Game series, because I'm doing a reread because I'm kind of obsessed. That's The Raven King by Nora Sakavic. I don't own a physical copy because I haven't bought a physical copy yet. I have it on ebook. Yeah, I don't really have a ton to say about that. It's the sequel to The Foxhole Court. I have a review posted on Goodreads, but also, if you want to hear more about my thoughts on the All for the Game series, be on the lookout because I'm going to post a sit-down talky review of the whole series. Yeah, on April 5th, which is this upcoming Sunday. And while we're at it, I'll just put in a little plug here. I'm doing a video every day in April, so that'll be the 5th video of my everyday in April. I'm really excited. I have some fun content planned out, and I can't wait to dive into that. The second book that I read in March was Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. I read it for a reading vlog because I have a series now where I go back and reread my old favorite books and talk about how I feel about them now. I vlog the experience and then I do a sit-down talk at the end. I will link that video down below. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I still think it's a really fun read. Sure, it's maybe not the most technically wonderful thing that I've ever read in my life, but I think it's a good time. So I feel like I've already said my piece about that. Like I said, if you're interested, I'll link it down below so you guys can watch that. It was really fun to film. The next book that I read in March, I've been on a thriller kick. All I want to read are thrillers. So I have a couple to talk about. The first thriller that I read this month is An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. This is the duo's second book. The Other Wife, I think, is the first one. And I haven't read that. And now I'm apprehensive to read that because basically everyone I've heard talk about these two books says that if you love one, you're gonna not like the other. And I really liked this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I think all of the main characters are really interesting. I really enjoyed following Jess's story. This is definitely a psychological thriller. We are following Jess, or Jessica Ferris, who signs up to do a psychological study for this psych professor at NYU, and then becomes entangled in this professor's web of lies and isn't sure what's real and what's fake and who she can trust. And it was a really good story. It's dual perspective, which is a fun little twist. I had a really good time reading it. I'm going to be reading, hopefully, if I get it in time. I ordered it, but we'll see. Their third book, because it's the Literally Dead Book Club pick for April, so we'll see if I can get my hands on that. If it doesn't come, I guess we just push it off, but I'm apprehensive. Let me know how you feel about their debut if you've read it, because I'm really curious. Alright, this next one is a fun little horror read. I read Wilder Girls by Rory Power. Oh my god, this is one of the best books I've read in a really long time. This is horror mystery. It is body horror. We follow 2 but 3 main characters, Hetty, Byatt, and Reese, but it is dual perspective and queer, and basically it's about this group of schoolgirls who went to this prestigious elite boarding school on this island off of Maine, and then one day they started getting sick with this thing called the tox, which is what creates the body horror. It starts changing them, so some of them have gills, some of them have weird hand things going on. Hetty's eye is messed up. it's got like all kinds of different stuff going on. So all of the girls have different afflictions, but there is some body horror, there is some gore. If you don't like blood and guts, maybe don't give it a read, because the blood and guts exist. But if you like horror and you're into that, it basically follows this group of girls. So they've been quarantined on the island. They are stuck there. All of the plants and animals have also been infected by the tox. So basically everything wants to kill them. Byatt, who is one of Hetty's close friends, gets very sick and goes missing. And Hetty and Reese try to save her. It's very good. Makes a lot of very, very cool statements, I think. The commentary is real. It's really good. 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend. The next book that I read in March is, oh my god, one of my favorite books of all time. I'm so happy that I read it. I read it for the Queer Weekend Queer Lit Readathon this past weekend. I also have a vlog, a Queer Weekend vlog that I did, so I will also link that down below if you're interested in watching that. And for that, I read We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia. This book is phenomenal. I'm going to film a whole video where I sit down and talk about this book because I loved it so much, and there is so much to talk about. First of all, class politics and espionage and queer romance and feminist masterpiece. If you haven't read this book, go pick it up. This book has killer Latinx representation. Everyone in the book is Latina, Latino. It's so rich in culture, but it's also dystopian. 5 out of 5 stars. Favorite book of the year. One of my favorite books of all time. I don't want to give too much away. So this book follows Daniela, who is the top of her class at the Medio School for Girls. And basically in this society, there's an old, religious folk legend, basically, about the sun god and the salt god and the moon goddess. And basically what ends up happening in current day when the book takes place, every husband in this prescribed capital religion, all of the rich people basically, get 2 wives. One who is their second in command. She's supposed to help them with business decisions and do all of their scheduling and hostessing and blah, 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 blah. And then the other one's job is to keep the man happy and satisfied. They're the ones that bear the children. So there's primera and segunda. So Daniela, because she's the top of her class, is a primera. She gets bought essentially by the most influential young bachelor, and this is her story. Like I said, it's queer, so female romance, hell yeah, so good. Do yourself a favor and give it a read. Also this month, I read the Literally Dead book club pick. That's platform 7. I actually haven't finished it. I have a few chapters left, so I'm going to finish it this afternoon, and I'm not going to tell you a rating because I don't actually have one. If I have finished it by the time I upload this video, I will insert somewhere what I rated it. Yep. And the other thriller that I read this month, because like I said, I am on a thriller kick, was Final Girls by Riley Sager. This book was phenomenal. I loved it. This is the first Riley Sager I have read, but I also purchased, The Last Time I Lie, whatever that one is, and then I also ordered Lock Every Door as my book of the month for March. It hasn't come in yet, but I ordered it, so when those get here, I am sure that I will be devouring them. This book follows and plays with the trope the horror trope idea of the final girl. So we follow Quincy, who is the third of what the press has dubbed a final girl. So we have 3. The first one is the lone survivor of a sorority house massacre. The second is the survivor of a hotel inn massacre. And the third is Quincy, who her and her friends went out to this cabin in the woods basically for a vacation to celebrate one of her best friend's birthdays, and a killer came and slaughters everyone. She is the only one who makes it out alive, and then the story picks up about 10 years later. So this one is a dual timeline book, which was really fun because Quincy is an unreliable narrator. She is suffering from, what is it called? It's the thing where your brain blocks out traumatic events. Repressed memory syndrome. So she can't remember what happened. She remembers her first friend who was killed, Janelle, stumbling out of the woods, and she remembers running to the street and finding a cop. And everything in that hour or so in between is nothing but a blurry memory. So she's an unreliable narrator. Throughout the book, we get snippets of her night there at the cabin, at the cottage, and then in modern time, her dealing with her trauma, and also when the book picks up, basically the first, I'm just giving you a whole rundown on this book, I guess. The first final girl has been murdered. And the second final girl, Sam, shows up at her door. Whew, talking is hard. Shows up at her door. So, it's that story. The twist at the end, I thought for a minute in the middle, I was like, well, maybe insert twist here. And then I got so wrapped up in other threads of the story that I kind of just forgot about that. And then in the last 25 pages, I was like, okay. 5 out of 5 stars. If you like thrillers, I recommend you check it out. Okay, y'all, that is all I got for you. Those are the, 7 books that I read in the month of March. I have quite a hefty TBR for April because I am participating in the Owls Readathon. Tomorrow, on April 1st, my first video of the month is my Owls TBR, so definitely be sure to come back and check that out. Be up with my videos this month because there's gonna be a lot of them. If you liked this video, maybe go check out another video. Head down and be my friend, subscribe, chat with me in the comments. I would love to talk to you. Other than that, I don't really know what else to say. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it as always, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye. Okay, so I know that I promised you guys I would be better about keeping track of my fanfiction word thread because I think it's really, really fun to know. I did my math up through the 21st of this month and then haven't gone through and done the math. So I'm going to give you the number from March 1st to the 21st. Yeah, through the 21st. This is through the 21st. And then I'm going to do a quarterly stats video, and I'll have the updated math in that video. I'm sorry that I'm the worst. So the number for March through the 21st was 499,806 words. Once again, for context, The Hunger Games is about 99,700 or something like that words. So that's just about reading The Hunger Games 5 times.